Hello, I am Oxnard.
I'm Dexter.
Yeah,
Boss will be joining us shortly
he's not
for
here.
his special segment.
Apparently he has work to do. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What
Anyway,
a loser. Can't talk about Game of Thrones. That is work.
this is episode 3, season 3, Walk of Punishment.
Oh, man. And it was a good one. We have plenty to talk about in this
I
episode.
know, another good episode.
Very good episode.
Uh,
I'm very happy because I was nervous because I don't know how you felt exactly about season 2, but I thought it was like good, but
you know,
could have
honestly,
been better.
like, I forgot a lot of the
Well,
episodes
there
in
you go.
season 2.
Yeah, the only one I remember was Battle at Blackwater Bay, which was the best episode, the
Yeah,
second
like
to last
that-
episode.
Yeah, I definitely remember
But,
that. But season 1, I remember, I guess because the show was brand new and I was excited. I remember
Right.
everything, and I know it's leading up to Ned Stark's death, so I was looking
Yeah,
at
that
every
was
detail.
such a huge thing.
And in season 2, yeah, like I remember a few things here and there, but I really forgot a lot of stuff. Like even the sack of Winterfell. Like I remember Theon doing his
right.
big speech, and
Yeah.
then the guy like knocks him out.
That was hilarious.
Like there's a lot of great moments.
But yeah, so I was nervous because of like kind of what I felt was a lackluster season 2. I thought it could have been like a lot better than
Yeah.
it was. Even though, and this is like totally nitpicking because the production, I want to like cover myself here because when you look at the detail of everything that goes in the show, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
So I'm not saying like it sucked and I don't want to feel like I'm complaining a lot, but I'm just saying in terms of like
No,
how
we're
they
just-
executed the story,
we're
it
just
wasn't as
fans.
intense as I thought it should have been.
Yeah,
I
we're
felt
just
like it
fans
was
who
in
read the book. In our head, we played the whole movie or show in our head, and so we're trying to see if they had a similar idea.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem, too. It's
Yeah.
never going to be. But anyway, all right, we're dragging on. But so I'm very pleased so far with how Season 3 is going. It's been very good so far.
First episode a little lackluster, but still okay.
Yeah.
Second
they
episode
picked it up.
like pulled me in immediately. I thought that was amazing. Hey, what happens in this show?
So, wait, what was the title again? Oh, yeah,
Walk
Walk
of
of Punishment. So it was an awesome episode. So basically, a lot happens in this one. We basically, Tyrion gets a new job down at King's Landing. We get introduced to some new characters for members of Catelyn Stark's family, and Robb Stark's family, and Daenerys is in it. Very sexy and making some deals, trying to get some Unsullied, and Theon almost gets raped in the butt.
He gets someone goes in and saves him.
Yeah, almost gets raped in the butt.
Yeah.
And so does Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape in this episode.
A lot of rape in these books. I don't know if you noticed that. George Martin loves rape. He's got something about rape.
The basis of any good high fantasy art is the rape.
George Martin, I mean, he has created the most grim world. Like, when I watch this and when I read the books, I think, my God, like, thank God that I don't have to live in this world.
Right.
We're very lucky.
The other thing you have to remember,
With
though,
what we
we're
have.
watching a show and we're seeing every side of what's happening. I think, let's say you're a peasant living in Flea Bottom or whatever.
Oh, God.
You're not really getting the big picture of how miserable things really are.
That's true.
You're always under the impression, like, things might get better if I do this.
Or
that.
this life is good, maybe they think. They have what they want. I mean, that's that's probably subject to change.
But when you see the big picture and how everyone gets fucked, no matter who your family is,
and
where
if
you
you're
come from.
and if you're a woman, you get fucked literally all the time against your will. It is this world is filled. I mean, it's just
horrifying and
rape
brutal.
at every turn. If you're a woman, if you're not a highborn woman, you will be raped at least 5 times in your lifetime. I feel
Or if you're in the wrong
What is
place at the
rape?
wrong time as a highborn woman.
Yeah, yes,
You will definitely
right.
be raped.
You would absolutely be raped. God forbid you're a captor like Brienne and Jaime become.
Oh, God.
But anyway, oh my God. But anyway, and so anyway, a lot of stuff happened. Major things with Theon and Jaime especially happened, which was one of my favorite parts of the book. But let's get right into it.
This opening scene.
This is fucking
was
awesome.
fucking
The
amazing.
opening scene with Hoster Tully being sent out and the introduction of Edmure Tully and, of course, Blackfish was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Blackfish is so cool in this show.
All right,
I'm
so we should
like
go...
so happy with what they did with him. The guy lighting that lights the arrow, trying to shoot Hoster Tully's boat as he's giving him his Viking funeral there. who keeps it was hilarious. It was like, darkly funny because he just keeps missing,
and the faces he makes.
And it's Edmure Tully. That's Caitlyn's brother, Hoster's son,
right?
And and the actor who plays him played Brutus in the HBO show Rome, which was an awesome show. And the guy who plays Mance Rayder played Julius Caesar in that show as well.
Yeah, HBO takes care of their own.
Yeah,
huh? I see.
But anyway, it's hilarious. And then I love when Blackfish just walks up. It's like,
get out of here!
Enough of this shit. He takes the bow and he just like fuck, and then he just turns before it even hits, tosses the bow to him, and like walks away like he's the baddest.
And he looks at the flag to see the wind and correct for the windage.
Oh, it's so awesome.
See, to avoid this, why don't you just put like a fuse on it? That's what I would do.
Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking, and I made like a note to myself: why don't they just light it and then set it out down the river? Like, how often do they have an expert marksman like the Blackfish?
I know, really. And what if it does hit, but the spark doesn't work or something,
right?
And it doesn't light
or
up?
If the flame goes out on the way down or something, I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't seem to make sense. Seems counterproductive. Light him on fire, then send him down the river.
There's a good Robb scene because you get to see Robb like leading and like really showing like
the Robb scene. I thought this was like Robb's best scene like in the series.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, definitely.
He was so awesome, and the guy
again, he is the king of the North. People look at him as the king. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I really like honestly, I never felt like this guy's in control. Like because we don't see a lot of the battles. Like supposedly they've fought like hundreds of battles.
Yeah, he fought and won a lot of battles, but you don't, right, and in the book, too, I don't remember, you don't really see, you're not there for a lot of battles, because it's all from Caitlyn's perspective.
I remember one of the promos for HBO, he has a good line, he says, we've won hundreds of battles, but we're still losing the war, like,
oh, yeah.
He's known for winning these battles, but overall, they're just basically losing.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't have the money, and they don't have the manpower in the end, and this is what he's talking about, he's talking about how Tywin here with Edmure, he's talking about how Tywin has so many men and so much money, and he's like, how many men did you lose? And he says something like 208. Yeah. And he's like, and he's furious because he lost 208 men, and they can't spare that number. And Tywin, that's like, it doesn't matter how many, it doesn't matter to Tywin how many men they lose there, you know? But this was awesome because he finally comes across as like this king.
Yeah, knows what he's doing. Like, he's explained to the guy, look, you took these hostages who were basically meaningless to the enemy. Like, he says it like, why would he bother trying to save his brothers, sisters, cousins, sons, or something?
Who's a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, that was a nice scene. Good Caitlyn scene.
That was good. I actually liked it a lot. The whole time I was watching it, I wonder if Boss would be bored by it.
Right. Boss doesn't seem to like Caitlyn Stark for some reason. I don't know why.
Not at all. He hates her. But I mean, she's not as exciting. You know, her story is more of grief and despair. And you want to find more about what Robb is doing in those scenes as opposed to her. But I thought that was really good scene. And the Blackfish, I really want him to be... I want to see more scenes with him. He's so awesome in it. But then we have the Tyrion Tywin. You know, Joffrey is obviously a fucking lunatic. Pretty sure Tywin knows that.
No, I think the Hand of the King is always just basically the real guy behind the scenes who's telling everyone what to do. The king is... It seems like the king is just kind of like a figurehead.
I think definitely for the kings that we've seen recently. Yeah. I think with some kings, it might have been the opposite. I mean, I think it's like it depends on... Well, it depends on the king. Like, Robert obviously didn't give a shit. Like, he never sat
he was just
at the small council. Right. He didn't he was never the small council. It was always the Hand of the King doing everything.
Yeah. Which is interesting because because Baratheon, that's the king. Baratheon. What, Baratheon?
Well, it's not. You're emphasizing the wrong syllables.
Baratheon. The accent is on the wrong syllable. Yet he gets Ned Stark to do like the Hand of the King, which I feel like really has more power and stuff because he's kind of the guy who says, "You do this."
And he had to be like the rational human being in that situation. Robert was such a drunken, crazy person at that point.
Interesting government they got in place there.
But anyway, that was great. Like, Cersei comes in and is like, lifts her chair up, moves, like, oh, fuck you, Tyrion. And then everyone's looking at him, so he just drags his chair to the other side.
By the way, first time we see Varys.
Oh,
the
yes,
season,
that's right.
which I was really happy to see. And I love the looks. Like, the Littlefinger, like, walks in front of him to, like, beat him there.
Yeah.
And then, like,
He like
as everything's happening with Tyrion, they're, like, looking at each other. Because those guys, it's all about playing people against each other.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, every time someone's doing something, they're very interested. Like, okay, how's he going to... Cersei just put your share there.
Varys like gives like little jabs, like mocking Littlefinger there too. He's during the thing. Oh, and also Maester Pycelle is back, and you know what I didn't fucking realize? He was the villain in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He's the guy who was working for the Nazis that really is after the cup of Christ for himself. And
Belloc?
yeah. The guy who withers and dies, like he drinks the cup, he's got the hot German girl, he drinks out of the wrong cup at the end.
Belloc is the guy from the first movie.
Oh, not from the first. No, the guy who chose poorly. He chose poorly.
That's him?
Yes.
Wow.
And he's in Star Wars: The Emperor Strikes Back when they're on Hoth. He's in one of the AT-ATs, and he's fucking. That guy's had quite a career, and now he's Maester Pycelle. I didn't even fucking recognize him.
I know.
That was awesome.
I love that,
when I found that
scene
out.
in season 2 where like he's with the prostitute and he's telling her like the story of the old kings.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of their sexual session, he kind of gets up and you see he's pretty.
Yeah, he's pretty spry.
Yeah. And then before he goes out, he goes, ugh. Yeah. Act like an old bit. So even him, like that's not in the book, but you can see like even him, he's doing the same thing. Like Varys and Littlefinger, like putting on the show. He's not putting himself out there completely. Yeah. And that's why Littlefinger warned Ned Stark, because Ned Stark doesn't know how to play that game.
Exactly.
Ned Stark is just too... He thought things, good is good,
he's
right is
so
wrong.
black and white with everything, and he's incapable of not being
He didn't
honest.
understand that sometimes you have to do little white lies here and there, play people against each other. Very manipulative.
For the survival of not just himself, but of the kingdom.
Yeah.
And, it was awesome. It was a good scene, that Tyrion scene, though. It was great to see Varys and
Then later,
Littlefinger
him
there.
and Bronn. He's at the brothel, Littlefinger's brothel.
Oh, yeah.
It's an amazing scene. And they're getting the
Podrick
books.
laid.
Yeah. They're getting the books.
Oh, yeah.
They're keeping the brothel.
Because Littlefinger was the master of coin. Now Tyrion's taken over, so Littlefinger had all the ledgers. Which apparently, I didn't really realize it at first, but they say something in the episode that basically... Excuse me, that's the ledgers for the entire history of the kingdoms.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know.
I didn't realize
that. Was a lot
that.
of books.
Yeah.
And then as they're leaving, apparently Tyrion takes it upon himself to like give what's his name?
Podrick. Yeah.
Podrick a little reward for his service.
For saving his life.
And then they said, this was what was so funny. He walks into this room as though this was all pre-planned, and then these ladies behind the curtains reveal themselves. And like, how long were they waiting there before Tyrion showed up? Like, hey, by the way, can you set up 3 prostitutes and have them lie in wait until we get in there?
It's gonna be a couple of weeks. They're gonna be in there a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
You can send in slices of bologna to feed them every once in a while.
But... That's the one thing they have in spades in King's Landing.
Bologna.
Bologna.
And then the last girl comes out. She's some sort of contortionist.
Oh yeah. Oh, how about that though? I don't know if you remember hearing about this, but Tyrion says there's one prostitute that comes out, the third one, and she's doing like crazy like crab walk or whatever. Yeah. And she's like, oh, she's the only woman who can perform a Milanese knot, and that is referring to the problem that George Martin had when writing the 5th book. He kept rewriting this one section, rewriting it over and over and over again. Right. And it was referred to as the Milanese knot or the Mirish knot or something like that. So really? That was That's like funny. A direct thing to that. I thought that was so hilarious.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah, it was great. But you know what's funny is like people, because they had to wait so long for that book, they like become obsessed with it. You try and look online for anything you can find for news about it, and so like that was such a popular thing that everyone knew about.
Podrick comes back from his sexual session. Tyrion is there with a book.
That was funny. He gets it on. Welcome, Boss. By the way,
no, you said it.
We'd like to reintroduce Boss here because he's arrived.
Boss has arrived with snacks.
I'm Boss.
Anyway,
all right. So.
Pod comes back from his sexcapades.
With the bendy girl, I liked her, huh?
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
I don't know. Whenever
Milanese knot.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I see someone doing like weird contortion stuff, I'm always it weirds me out because
that does not turn me on.
It doesn't, because I'm just looking at it going, oh my god, she's going to
I
snap
like
her
it.
spine.
My penis went.
Why was it up in the first place?
Well, because I'm like, all right, Pod, we're gonna see Pod get it on. No, because no, I don't know. I'm just saying in general. If I saw that, I'd be like freaked out. I'd be like, no, stay away, you devil woman!
Spiders, you're a spider, half spider. Anyway, so then he comes back, and then he's talking to Tyrion and Bronn, and it felt like a sitcom moment.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like I was saying before, it was like an episode of the Golden Girls, because he's like, details, Pod. We need details. And he's pouring him like a glass of wine. It was like a girl's night in.
Yeah. And it was like, you weren't charged for anything? He was like, no. Are you saying you were that good that they didn't charge you?
Yeah, they couldn't believe it. Like, wait, why didn't they charge you? What happened? I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, did he not sleep with them? When he gave the money back, I thought he was going to say, oh, I didn't go through with it.
Yeah.
And he was going to give like, I want to be in love with he was going to give like a noble, romanticized speech.
I think you're...
Give me that look. No, but I expected something like that. Right. And then they were like, wait a minute. Are you telling me you were so good that they didn't charge you?
That as a favor, you don't have to pay?
And then I was thinking... Are they going to talk about, like, does he have, like, a big horse stick or something? I thought they were going to talk about that.
That's what I thought.
I was waiting for them to make, like, a joke. Like, Bronn was going to make, like, 7 hills, you must have, like, the dick of a horse. That's how he said
Dick of a horse.
That's my Bronn impersonation. The dick of a horse. That's a terrible Bronn.
And what else happened?
I'm sorry, actor that plays Bronn. You're awesome.
Is that the last thing with Tyrion in this episode?
I think so, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, so let's talk real quick about Jon Snow, because it's one scene.
Well, Arya was right after it.
Oh, okay, fine. We'll do that.
You know, Arya, the first thing we see is that Gendry is, like, helping out one of the captors.
Yeah,
and
they're at the inn still.
Arya's, like, upset, going, hey, why are you helping us? That's not what are you doing.
The end.
Next scene, no.
Well, Arya, I mean, by the way, that girl is, like, such a great actor.
Yeah. No, she's a lot of people's... I was reading online, a lot of people, like, that's their favorite character.
She's amazing. Well, Arya was... Yeah, and she's a very popular character. She's a great character from the book, but she really is one of the brightest spots of the series. Her and Joffrey are, like, those kids are amazing.
I know. This is the weird thing. Like, until this show came on, anything that had kids in it, any movie, show, kids just annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, Star Wars.
Phantom Menace?
I guess
that kid is the crown jewel of shitty kid actors, though.
I guess maybe E.T. is an exception.
Maybe that guy hasn't really had that much of a career. He was in Gangs in New York, and then that's it.
But I think it's just because Spielberg knows how to direct kids. Because even in
you're probably right.
Closing Out as the Third Kind, like that was like he was like legendary with like getting the kids to give like a great performance. But then this show comes around, and I was always nervous because I was like, oh my god, they're casting a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids roles, and I was like, is this gonna be
What about
shitty?
the Harry Potter movies? Did you ever see those movies?
Never read the books, never saw the movies.
Well, I only saw the movies. I never read the books.
No, I'm very impressed with all the children on the show. They're doing an excellent job. Going to have very bright careers. Lucky
and
fuckers.
especially, yeah, seriously, fucking assholes.
Anyway, and then the fat kid. What's the name of the fat kid? Hot Pie.
Yeah, Gendry and then Hot Pie.
I feel bad calling him a fat kid because I was a fat kid. So I don't.
He is a fat kid, though. I mean, we're not calling him to insult him. We're just stating what he is.
Yeah.
And in the book, he is a fat kid. He's described as a fat kid, and he's mocked as a fat kid in the book.
Yeah, and then he gives Arya the little cake thing. It looks like a horse.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like a wolf, actually, not a horse.
Wolf, whatever. It looked like a horse to me.
But what was great, too, was like at the end, like what's just so good about that the actress that plays Arya is that, you know, she's like, at the end, I loved when she was running away, and she's like, Hot Pie, it's really good. And it was just like, you know, I felt like, you know, oh man, it was like a great, like, emotional moment.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, it was so awesome, though. Because
she
like totally nailed it, I felt like.
Because, you know, what's going on in their head is like, okay, we got to stay tough. But in the back of their head, you know, you think like, that's the last time I'm going to.
And when it comes, and she's just a kid in the end. You know what I mean? Like, but. It's so funny. I like the name Hot Pie. It sounds like some like horrible sex thing.
It sounds like a porno.
Like a hot lunch. Like, you know,
dude,
like,
read this movie. It's called Hot Pie.
Dude, I gave her a hot pie. Oh, what's a hot pie? Oh, I took a shit all over her head.
Well,
What the
Shaped
fuck?
it into a... What are you telling me?
I
this?
shat into a pie and then I served it to my dinner guests.
At a business meeting. Got that promotion. Schmagaggled.
What company do I work for? Schmagaggled.
Was that the last thing? With
Johnny Schmagaggly?
in company? Was there another Arya scene? I don't think there was.
No, I don't think so. But anyway, so then they basically... she was still going with... Right, she was traveling with the Hound.
Yeah, they bring the Hound into
so
the
Hot
thing.
Pie staying with the
They
people
bump his
who run
head
the
into
inn.
the wagon.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. But yeah, and then so Hot Pie, the point of that scene was he's staying at the inn.
Right.
And her and Gendry are going with the Brotherhood without banners still, with the Hound, so.
Right.
But shall we move on to...
Theon?
Sure. Yeah, let's save Jamie.
All right, so last episode I was explaining how they might have been torturing him. I realize now, after that one shot where you see his foot, there's like a hole in it.
So that was, they were like corkscrewing his foot.
Yeah, that's
I don't think so. I thought it was like
don't
what
think so?
you said, like it was being squeezed, but that was just.
Oh, so maybe it was like a...
I thought maybe that's just from the pressure. I didn't
right.
think.
You sure?
there was a
Okay,
hole
I wasn't
from
sure. I just saw the hole and I
So
was
we
like,
still don't know.
it hurts. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
either way, that's fucking
And he's
painful.
very weak. Some guy, who was the guy who came in?
So the guy who came in, I don't know. See, this is because, all right, so I can't take credit for it. A friend of mine from work, he is the one who first kind of told me this theory about who was this, because I was like talking to him about it, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? Because, obviously that's not from the book. And so he was saying, well, it might be Ramsay Snow. We were talking about it last episode. Mm. So he comes to rescue Theon, like he said he would in the second episode, and frees him. Make sure he can ride and everything. And then they cut. And at first, when they cut to that scene in the beautiful landscape, which I'm assuming they were filming. I think they were filming in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I think that's where
for
they
that.
filmed.
And it, awesome landscape. You see this white horse, and I had no idea what the fuck was happening until I was like, "Oh, it's Theon." I was like, "Yeah, the Lord of all horses." Oh, this is one of the Meras, unless my eyes are cheated by some spell.
Bill Burr has this hilarious clip on his podcast where he said he started watching Lord of the Rings, and he said he stopped watching when the white horse came up, and he said Lord of all horses.
Are you serious? He hated
Look
it that much?
Look up Bill Burr, Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god, I
It's
gotta
so
check
funny.
that out.
I'll play it later.
Oh,
but
that's hilarious. So we stopped watching the movie
he stopped
completely.
watching because, dude, what the fuck? Why? Of course, the white horse is the Lord of all horses.
Yeah.
He has such a funny take on everything.
Oh yeah, he's a brilliant comedian. I love him. He's hilarious. No, right. Well, everything he does have a funny take, but when you think about it, well, yeah, he's got a point.
Yeah,
he does.
He's got a great point.
So then Theon is riding away.
Oh yeah. So and he all of a sudden the basically the people that were holding him captive, they catch up to him. They're chasing him. He runs into the forest, and then something very interesting happens when they
suddenly,
capture him.
Some guy's in the mood for butt sex.
Oh yeah.
The fuck?
What was
I was
that?
like, wait. What? I was watching. My fiance was there watching with me, and she goes, "What?"
No, that happens in the book too. Like, there's a lot of moments where you're reading, and you go, "Huh?"
Yeah, and she's never read the book. She's just watched the show, and so she was, and I was going, "That's." I was like, "That's interesting." He's like, "Take his pants off," and I was like, "What is happening?" And then he starts getting, it's like, "I'm gonna," and then he goes, "I'm gonna fuck you into the dirt." What the fuck? What is happening? And and then I was like, and then I was trying to think, is this better or worse than the contraption he was already being tortured by? Like, which would be worse? Would Theon rather be fucked in the butt? Or would he rather be strapped to the
sound
thing?
like
I'd
you'd
rather
rather
be
that.
effed in the
It
butt.
He was struggling
It
more.
doesn't sound like
he
it.
was struggling more than when he was attached to
Yeah,
the thing,
I
right?
think
Yeah,
so.
I'm pretty sure he was like,
I'd
I'm
rather-
pretty sure he was thinking the same thing I was. Like, what is this guy doing?
I'd rather be fucked in the butt, but my fear is that this guy has like a disease.
I knew it. I told you. How many years
but
have I been telling you?
think about the pain.
He'd rather be fucked in the butt.
Right.
Think about the pain of something compressing you for so long. Like, that
Would
sucks.
Think
Oxnard
about
want
the
his
pain of
foot
a
or ass
giant
screwed?
cock up your ass.
Yeah, but at least with that,
While your
the guy's
asshole
like,
is tensing,
The guy-
trying to resist the penetration.
Stop that
I'm pretty
hand
sure-
motion is horrifying to me.
I cannot wait to draw this.
Oh no!
Oh, you better draw this. You didn't draw me shitting on fish last episode. Yeah, well, I don't think we can draw that one.
No, I can't. The thing is, like, I don't want to draw anything weird that involves kids. I can draw no.
Oh, you can draw Theon getting fucked in the ass. Yeah. You can draw an ass resisting the penetration of a big penis.
I thought this was funny with the arrows. You probably talked about it.
We talked about that already. You shut up. You're late. No. Yeah. But Blackfish is awesome.
So speaking of,
He's Caitlyn's uncle. Blackfish is Caitlyn's uncle. Edmer, the guy who kept missing, that's her brother, and that's the one that Robb Stark was yelling at because he fucks up. Because basically they had a moment.
I saw that. Yeah. I understood it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Edmer fucked up. We didn't talk about that. Edmer was getting yelled at by Robb and by Blackfish because he completely fucked that bet up. Like they had a legitimate chance to win the war. Like at that part, like to really make a huge dent in this army, and because he was impatient, he fucked it up. So that's an important thing. But anyway, so
right. Speaking of people being forced into sexual,
we didn't finish Theon. Yeah.
Well, the guy comes up and rescues. First of all, that was pretty cool because out of nowhere is an arrow.
Yeah.
And then the guy turns around, and then another one, and then the guy puts one through his head.
But the one guy says, "See, now this is where I'm still really confused." Like about the theory we talked about last episode, where is it Ramsay Snow or not?
The bastard.
Because he goes, "You bastard."
Yeah.
He says to him right before he's killed. So does that mean like he's just feeling betrayed? Or
no,
but I'm pretty sure it's him, right?
Yeah.
And so Ramsay Snow is really taking this.
He's
really fucking with.
That's
Theon.
a significant word in Game of Thrones, bastard.
Yeah,
like, that means something. He's not
so
just, you motherfucker.
He turns around and he realized the fucking guy that I work for is killing me, and I was about to get laid.
I guess.
I don't know. But yeah, that was
anyway.
Nuts. All right, so moving on.
Jaime and Brienne captured. Am I mispronouncing all these different names? Anyway, Jamaine and Brennan.
Jamaine and Brett from Friday the
What are you doing,
Conchords.
Jamaine?
What are you getting fucked in the butt?
Oh,
enough of that. I can't get it out of my head now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Why would someone want to scam me, Jamaine? And on the internet, one of today's trusted things of society.
The most trusted things in society. I'd like to reserve the new Gypsy Kings cassette. With telephone, you make the call. They're watching New Zealand commercials. Like telephone's the new thing.
Yeah, it's all these horrible videos.
He's calling the library to reserve the new Gypsy Kings cassette. With telephone, you make the call.
Unbelievable. Oh, I loved the show. I saw them live. It was so amazing.
Oh, you lucky stiffs.
Oh, anyway. It was great.